Come on, don't act like you didn't see this coming. Anyone who knows me personally knows this is my favorite Final Fantasy in the series, so sooner or later this is going to happen. Rather it be now than later. So let's go ahead and do what I usually do and just change up all of my differentiations here. All this stuff needs to be at fast because anyone who plays Final Fantasy knows that the ATB can be pretty slow at times, and you're going to want to get the fuck in and out as soon as possible. So is there actually anybody out there who ever played this game and didn't change the controller? Think about it. I have not seen one person play this game and not change the controller. Simple, just the confirmation difference, but other than that, it's pretty simple. Also, everyone who plays this game should know you can get a potion from this guy and that guy, but you can also get two from one guy. So, interesting little factoid. God, getting ambushed! For some odd reason, my emulator doesn't want to work right, so... Oh, maybe. Not. I figured I was going to have to wait an hour for the battle screen to pop up. It's not the case. In usual Final Fantasy fashion, we all take turns beating the shit out of each other using all kinds of modernized weapons like giant swords and...
Oh, swords. Our guns aren't good enough to beat a sword.
Yeah. Got his sword! Random giant black man comes into the scene. This is where the game immediately becomes interesting, whenever there's this giant black man with a gun on his arm. Any regular American would be like, fuck yeah, I love this game already! So, this is where it kind of picks up. No matter what you do, he tells you, by the way, you changed your configuration. I noticed that. So, like I said, it happens no matter what you do. So what confuses me is if you didn't do it, he still says it. Basically, the workers at Square were pretty much waiting for you to change your configuration from circle to X on the buttons. So why didn't they just put it as the default? Never understood that. Took 2 steps, went into another random battle. Better get used to these. You're going to be seeing a lot of them before this video's over. I promise.
God.
What's interesting is I have the ability to do magic at this point. For some odd reason, my materia menu isn't open yet, but that's probably part of the story. Not supposed to know what materia is until after we get our asses beat. Yep, missing. Interestingly enough, while everyone else heads inside the reactor, this fat guy over here comes to eat a donut and chill. Oh, he's securing the escape passage. He's doing a terrible job at it.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of sitting there looking at it. He's like, oh god, they're gonna get me, they're gonna get me.
Hey, blah blah blah. I'm gonna walk inside you now.
Clouds are. I know everything you're telling me. You don't have to repeat it.
This is where the game gets really creepy in the sense that other people reside inside you. Oh my god. Yeah.
I need to take a shower.
You need to shower bad. Interestingly enough, here they say code deciphered, but there's no period at the end of the sentence. If they're worried about the dialogue enough to put quotations, you figure they would have put in the periods and all that interesting stuff too, but they failed. Everyone knows there's a phoenix down in this little room. I'm gonna feel so bad if I go in here and it's not a phoenix down, but it totally is, so.
Yeah.
The only bad thing I don't like about this game so far is the fact that there is no analog support, even though, for some odd reason, when you play this game on a computer or on the PlayStation 3 with analog support, the analog is usable. So this game is possible to play with the analog, but it just wasn't at the time, I guess, considered. And as usual, no matter what you do, there's always a cutscene involving something about the main plot that, well, your main character, being an emo shithead, doesn't really give a shit about. He just wants the money, so this guy's gonna shake his arms, pity the fool.
And if you ever pay attention when Barrett acts like he's gonna shoot you, he has his gun arm pointed at his real arm. For absolutely no reason.
Yeah, he points at you with his regular arm, and then you hear firing sounds, and I'm like, huh, okay then. Oh, any chance I ever had at beating that chick in a race just got mutilated by the fact that I got into a random battle with, what are these things? First raise!
They're gonna spank you up with the ray.
In Final Fantasy VIII fashion, I'm just gonna go ahead and tap the R1 button every time I go into slash. I'm gonna pretend like it actually has an effect, just like it did in 8. It doesn't have an effect. Victory dance that I'll be doing a hell of a lot more of from now on. This bitch is so ahead of me. She's like, you're too slow. How did I know I wouldn't be able to get through this video without a brawl reference in here somewhere? Oh well. Fuck it. Go for the 2-stock! Oh. My friend just asked me if I wanted to show you how to get Knights of the Round. You're better off looking at a walkthrough because I'm not about to spend 2 weeks out of my day to show you the Knights of the Round. I've decided to go ahead and do that since I forgot I had this file. I've already got it mastered, so for all those eager people who haven't actually seen this. You really gotta feel bad for these enemies too because they take such a spanking for this animation, it's not even funny. I am interfaced! And they have no mercy whatsoever. By the way, did I mention there's about 14 of these guys? Actually, there's about 8 of them, but they all hit twice, I think. It's just such an unnecessarily long summon, but it's so worth it in the end because I really don't think there's a single enemy in this game that can handle this summon a couple more than a few times. Even the optional bosses, all the weapons can only take this guy a couple times to the face before they're ultimately defeated. This is that one summon that the developers thought they'd stick in and go, man, you want to show what makes this game fucking broken as sin? And they, threw this in there, so. What I don't understand is these people, these Knights of the Round Table, I'm assuming, if there are people that exist that are of this level of power, what's the big deal with Sephiroth? Why can't we just summon Knights of the Round and have these 14 guys beat the shit out of him? The other guy, the fourth guy in this little move here, seems to have no problem summoning Meteor. So, and then of course you get Omnimon from the Digimon series to come in with a swipe, and then your world cracks. If only I added up all the damage at the end, you'd be able to actually count out how much there was done. The main way of getting it is getting a gold chocobo and going out into the world map and getting it. Really, the only reason it's so difficult to get is because, 1, gold chocobos take fucking hell a lot of time to make, and 2, it's somewhere out in the world map that can only be accessible by the gold chocobo. So pretty much it's this long drawn-out process of catching 2 specific types of chocobos, the 2 best kind of chocobos you can possibly catch, mating them with a nut, and when they have babies, have those 2 babies mate, and then have their babies mate, and then you get a gold chocobo. But in between all this, you have to race them to the S level in chocobo races, and their ranks go up to S, and it's such a pain, especially when this guy named Joe and Teo come in and just kind of spank you in the competition. But essentially, that's all there is to it. It sounds like a small amount of work, but I'm pretty sure it's not possible without a walkthrough. This has got to be my favorite part. Barrett comes in and takes control as if he's the hero, but then, oh, just kidding. Cloud is still the main character, Barrett. Get the fuck over it. So, whether or not some of you people want to believe it, Final Fantasy VII was an absolutely groundbreaking title that changed the face of RPG gaming from the 90s on. So, pretty much my last review on this is probably the best Final Fantasy to date. I have yet to play a Final Fantasy that matches up to this game. As a matter of fact, the ever so acclaimed Final Fantasy XIII that was supposed to cripple this game in its wake was actually a very pathetic RPG that was just kind of all flash, no depth. It was more of just a bait and switch. It was a bait and switch in the same sense that the Final Fantasy Spirits was then was a bait and switch. If you like that movie, you are not a fan and you should be slapped the shit out of. But yeah, that's our review.